In my body politics class, I've learned a lot about how society shapes our understanding of gender, race, and identity. We've explored different social issues and how they affected people's lives. One of the most important things that I learned was about feminism, especially the way Bell Hooks defines it. She describes feminism as a movement to end sexism and oppression. It's not just about women's rights, but about creating a world where everyone, regardless of their gender, can be free from discrimination and inequality. Bell Hooks taught me that it's about fighting systems of power that hurt different groups of people. We also discussed the history of racism in the United States, particularly the Jim Crow laws. These laws were put in place after the Civil War and forced racial segregation in the South, keeping Black people and white people separated in schools, restaurants, or even buses. These laws lasted until the 1960s and caused a lot of harm by treating Black people as less than white people, denying them equal rights. Learning about this helped me understand how racism is built in society, system, and laws, and how it's not just a personal attitude, but something that is structured into the country's history. We also looked at the term Latinx and why the X is used. Latinx is a gender-neutral term that replaces the traditional Latino for men and Latina for women. The X is used to be inclusive of people who don't fit in with the binary categories of male or female. It's important because it shows respect for people who identify as non-binary or genderqueer and helps break away from the traditional gender roles. Another topic we learned was redlining, a lesson where banks and insurance companies would deny loans or services to people in certain neighborhoods, often because the people living there were Black or non-white. This created segregated communities and made it harder for people of color to build wealth. Redlining still has effects today, with many communities of color facing poverty and lack of access to quality housing and education. We also learned the difference between intersex and transgender people. Intersex people are born with physical sex characteristics that don't fit typical definitions of male or female. This can include things like differences in chromosomes, hormone levels, or genitalia. Transgender people, on the other hand, are individuals whose gender identity doesn't match the sex that they were assigned at birth. This is a key distinction because being intersex is about physical traits, while being transgender is about one's identity. And then finally, we talked about the difference between sex and gender. Sex refers to the biological differences between males and females, like chromosomes and reproductive organs, while gender is more about how people feel and express themselves in terms of identity. Gender is more fluid and can be influenced by society, culture, and personal experience. There are many different genders beyond just male and female, such as non-binary, genderqueer, and agender, which are all valid identities. Overall, the body politics class or course taught me how complex and interconnected issues of gender, race, and identity are. I learned to think about the systems that shape our lives and to understand the importance of fighting for equality for everyone.